everyone, my name is Natalee Merola and welcome to my YouTube channel. As you can see, I'm just a little bit more fancy than usual, and that's because I just did a self-tape. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to show you all how I do my self-tapes, and maybe you can pick up a couple of suggestions or try out a couple new ideas that you hadn't thought of before. So with COVID, many actors have had to transition to self-tapes or filmed recordings or auditions instead of live in-person auditions. I would say to pay attention to your background and your camera angle. We've all seen those people on Zoom that are like this. You definitely want to look your best self, let's say, when you're auditioning for a casting director. I'll insert a clip here of my typical camera angle setup because this is not quite what I usually do. Everyone's circumstance is different. Some people have the ability to go out and rent a space for auditions, but not everyone has the money or the resources to be able to do that all the time. So I'd say if you can, try to find a wall in your house that's pretty clear, and don't worry too much about getting excess backgrounds from Amazon. Try to make things as simple as possible for you during this process because there's a lot of differing components going on all at once and you want to lower your stress levels as much as you can. So for me, I just use this background in my kitchen here. Overall, it frames me pretty well and it's not too distracting, which is what you want. I don't have anything on this table behind me that's like sticking up or just getting in this overall space. In terms of framing, sometimes in the audition notice they'll say we want a full body shot or a 3/4 shot. If it's up to me, I usually try to do just like a mid-range kind of shot. You want to make sure, definitely for me, because I'm someone who uses my hands a lot and I'm very physical, you want to make sure you have room to do all of that. You always want to make sure that you stand out against your background. So if you have a white background, for example, then don't wear white. There are some people who say that certain colors are really great on camera and certain colors are no-goes, but I honestly think you should pick and choose a little bit of your advice, and that includes coming from me because you're the person that knows your body and your frame and how things look on you the best. So if a certain color looks really great on you, like a red, for example, I've heard that reds are really bad, but if you feel really confident in it and comfortable in it, then you should definitely go for it. Because if you're not comfortable, then that'll definitely come across in your self-tape. It's a good idea when picking out outfits to find a combination of a type of outfit that really demonstrates who you are and what your personality is like, but also combining a little bit of the character that you're auditioning for or the musical that you're auditioning for. So today I auditioned for this 70s, 80s rock musical. I decided this was the best outfit for that particular audition, and it made me feel comfy and confident and powerful, which I needed for this song that I was performing. I try to control the lighting as much as I can. So I'm in my kitchen right now. I'm using a ring light, as you can see from my eyes. Some people like to use natural light. I feel like it looks better on my skin and in this environment when I have brightness. I personally don't like to put anything too heavy on. I just put on my normal amount of makeup that I would use when going out, for example. Like the fashion, you know what to do with your makeup and what feels best for you and what your abilities are. I think the general rule, in my opinion, when wearing clothing and wearing makeup is to just remember to be yourself and not try to be anyone else. If you try to be someone you're not, it doesn't come across as genuine. As much as this industry can be fake, especially with theater, as much as it can be like over exaggerated. One of the things that I've picked up is that being authentic and being yourself is what will get you far. There's going to be a lot of people in this industry who are going to try to fit you into one mold or one way of looking, for example, or one way of being and acting. I feel like I would rather be unsuccessful and authentic than successful and inauthentic. And I know that that's something that I'm going to encounter and run up against in that hope for, in that goal of being successful. If you're doing an audition that involves music, I like to film from my phone and have another device on the side that plays music. Usually I use my computer. You just want to make sure that there's a good balance of the backing track, most likely, that you're singing along to, and your own voice. So that could mean, for example, putting the computer closer to your recording device, but putting the volume down a little bit to compensate for it being so close to the camera. Another way, maybe having it right next to me here, which would be nice because then I can just push play and not have to worry about running back and forth, which is something that admittedly happens to me a lot. However, since it's a little bit farther away from the camera, if it was in this area, you might want to put up a little bit louder than you would think in order to try to balance the sound out a little bit more. I've noticed for me this is just a little bit of trial and error. Usually I'll push play on my camera and play the track a little bit and sing along with it and see how the sound sounds. Sometimes it's also good to have someone else, whether that's a parent or a sibling or a friend, listen to the track and have their opinion on the sound quality, because sometimes we have this idea in our heads of what it sounds like, and it can be totally different sometimes to another person. I try to find a spot that's about my eye level to connect to. I don't want to look too far up because that's not a great angle, or too far down because that just loses my face, or obviously either side. So just kind of like a neutral position on your face should work. Another thing that I've been told is to scale back on camera, and I agree and disagree. There are definitely people who, once they appear on camera, they really scale back their performance and everything's very much introverted, which works well with some mediums like film, for example, but when it comes to theatrical actors performing on stage, you want to still convey that confidence. Well, I noticed I adjust most of the time is my movement. So if I was on stage, I know I would be up and about and walking all over the place. Whereas here, I have to control my movement and limbs and not do anything too crazy or unnecessary. If I feel that one thing goes wrong in my tape or isn't quite right, then I'll always want to start over from the beginning. Being a perfectionist, like many artists are, that can be very draining. So I would definitely suggest do a certain number of takes, maybe take a break, get some water, get some food, and then coming back to it and coming back with a fresh mindset. You definitely don't want your self-tape to come across as exhausted or, oh, I don't want to be here, oh, this is so frustrating. You want to come at it with the same nervous energy that you come into a live audition with. You know what's right for you, so I just encourage you to take care of yourself throughout this process, because auditions, even if they're not live, can be very stressful, especially for professional actors or actors who want to do this for the rest of their lives. It can feel like we're putting a lot of pressure to make this tape perfect so that we can get the right job and everything can be amazing and happy. And sometimes you can do all that and you won't get the job, but that's okay. That's part of this business. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions for me regarding auditioning or self-tapes, and I'll be sure to answer them. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Hunter. Come here. Blue steel. Are you a model?